Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I would ask you that if you could please go to menti.com on your cell phones and type in the code 61261596 and type in 3 words that you associate with virtual reality. It could be positive, it could be negative, whatever you're feeling that you associate with virtual reality. Okay, so we're getting some responses. Um, the ones that excite me are new, fun, innovation, and we're here today. Oh, we got a conspiracy. Not sure what that one means, but what it can do is to tap in, and I see the word engaging. It can engage the students and help them um, to experience things they may not experience otherwise. Um, it helps them connect with people. It is convenient and socially distanced. It is very exciting and a new way to reach um, people that may not be able to go to class or go to a certain location. It helps prepare them. And I see the word easy access, and that is very true. It is very easy access. So let's go ahead and start the presentation.
All right, thank you, Gary. I'll share my screen.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. I think Kalaya might be having some technical difficulties. So the name of our presentation is Connecting Students to Support Services Through Virtual Reality. And there are 3 of us on this call because the 3 of us brainstormed these ideas and came up with them together. So my name is Carrie Urquizo, and I'm the Associate Dean of Heartland Community College. Heather, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Heather Hugstad Gonzalez, and I'm Coordinator of Adult Education Student Support at Heartland Community College. I think Kalaya might just be muted, maybe. Maybe not.
Okay, Kalaya is our administrative assistant, and Kalaya, are you there? Okay, she is our administrative assistant and one of our former students in our program. So she really gave us a really cool perspective when we were working on this project. Kalaya, can you advance the slide?
I don't think we can't see her slides, at least I can't.
Okay,
So maybe a different person wants to bring up the PowerPoint.
okay.
Or there's
Yep.
Kalaya, I see her
There she
picture. Kalaya, can you hear us?
Her sound left.
Yes, Kalaya, we can't hear you.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. If I share my screen, I cannot speak or turn on my camera.
Oh,
It's kind of weird. So
Okay.
I'm sorry.
can another presenter share their screen?
So mine says I'm screen sharing, but I'm not seeing my screen.
I can
I-
see your screen.
I can see your
You can-
screen.
Okay.
We can see, yes.
This is weird how it's working. Okay, so we can go ahead and do this then. So here we go. Clyde, do you want to do this part?
Sure, sure. So as Carrie was saying, virtual reality is a really amazing technology right now that we're trying to use in this project to improve the connections between students and some organizations. But also, as we know, COVID had hit us really bad these last couple of years, and we've been looking for days, and we were just desiring to do things that we were able to do before. So this technology can take us to different places without going anywhere physically. So today we're gonna go to Hawaii, and I would love to show you how this 360 picture can give you a better side of the place and the location. So I hope you don't get dizzy. So we're gonna go to Hawaii today. Heather, can you click on the link?
Okay, it's not showing Hawaii yet. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Okay. New share. This is a little complicated. Hold on. Here.
There we go. So we can now see the screen. So we are in Kauai, Hawaii. We can have a better side of the island. You can see all the place from the 360 degrees. You can turn around, you can see the ocean. And we also can have hotspots that is somewhere in the middle. If Heather is able to click on that. And we could go to the resort. There you go, Heather. Alrighty. So now we can see the resort right in the side of the island. So thank you, Heather. So we're going back to the presentation. Next slide, please. So what is virtual reality? As I mentioned, it's a fully immersive and visual experience and can be explored in 360 degrees. As you saw before, you can see all the sky if you turn all the way up. You can see all the ground if you go all the way down. So you can have a better view of all the location, and you can also go to different places through the hotspot that they have. So, and the most amazing thing is that it's accessible on most devices. So, next slide, please. I think that's Carrie's.
Okay, so we had a goal in mind that we wanted to do, and that was to bring support services to our students more readily and more easily. And we kind of sat down to brainstorm and we thought, we do not want to do another handout. We want to try something different to bring the experience of going to a social service agency to our students. Because let's face it, we've all been, homebound for a couple of years. And we realized that there might be some post-COVID anxiety related to going and seeking these services. And this past January, we had a big surge in COVID. And so we realized we needed remote service learning options. Okay, so our solution, we brainstormed and came up with the idea to do virtual reality tours of social services in our community through a student service learning project. So we could easily go in and do this project ourselves, but we really wanted to give the students the experience of networking and meeting their social service agency representatives one-on-one, and really digging deep into what social services options that they have. So we went to our director of online learning in our institution and said, how do we do this? And so she had these cameras. This tiny camera cost $2.99. And you would need to use the Round Me website. That's the website Kalaya got the Hawaii virtual tour from. And we use Zoom in the process to do interviews. So the Round Me website is about $99 a year. And that's where you can host these presentations on there. And it's very easy to embed in things like Facebook, Instagram. We have it on our website. So it's very versatile, and there's many things that you can do once you start creating these videos.
So we're going to talk about how we did this. It sounded really complicated at first, but it actually ended up being pretty easy. So the first thing we did, got to get my slide. We wanted to make sure we knew what we were doing. So we decided to practice with our own program first. Like Carrie said, we got the camera from our online learning department and we learned how to connect it. There is an app on our smartphone that you can connect it to, so it works as kind of a remote. And we learned how to take those 360 pictures. So the first thing we did was we created a tour of our adult education office just to make sure we knew what we were doing. So the tour that we did, I'm gonna have to reshare my screen here so you can see it. New share.
So Heather, I think you're muted. What Heather is showing is the front of our office. We have a lot of times where students stand outside the office and they are nervous about coming in. And so this just kind of gives them a general feel about what the office looks like. So we're going to go inside and you will see little eye icons. And in those icons is where you can add information about your program and add a video so that students feel more comfortable when they come to visit. So here's a video of Kalaya welcoming students.
Welcome to Adult Education Department. My name is Kalaya Claveria and I'm the Administrative Assistant of the department.
Okay, so what we did was embed those videos and the information at each door of each of the coordinators. So anyone that the student is going to directly interact with, then we have the videos for them to watch to feel more comfortable. So here's a video of Heather at her door. And Christina, one of our coordinator, our directors. So again, this just took very little time to do. And now we have a tour of our office on our website, on our Facebook page, on our Instagram, and students can see it through their cell phones.
Okay, I think my mute is not muting me anymore. I think it was that website for some reason.
Okay.
So we did that as a practice to make sure we knew what we were doing. And then it kind of served double duty because now students can see us. And then we decided to collaborate with social services. So we initiated some collaboration. We emailed 13 organizations because we had 13 students. So our initial thought was one organization per student. We reached out to WIOA core partners, college strategic partners, and then organizations that served immigrants, organizations that provided physical and mental health care, organizations that help with basic needs like housing and food, and then organizations that work with children. We just wanted to get a broad variety of services that we could kind of start with to put into our kind of little database of VR tours. We heard back from 6 of those organizations who were willing and able to participate. Not everybody got back to us. I think some of them were very busy and some of them probably didn't know exactly what they would be getting into with VR, so they were a little hesitant. But the 6 that we heard back from were really awesome partners in this project. So since I had 13 students, I assigned the students to each organization in partners or groups of 3. And these were groups of non-native English speakers. So this was a way for them to practice their English and network in the community. So they were kind of, I tried to balance them with their oral and written skills. So if one of them had better written skills, I would try to balance them with someone with better oral communication skills, things like that. And then I also tried to match students with similar interests and similar schedules. So for example, the group that worked out the best was my Wednesday morning group. They all had availability on Wednesday mornings, and they all had some interest in some of the things that the organization did that they were working to learn about. So it worked out really well for them. And they had, some of them had better oral communication skills and some of them had better writing skills. So they all kind of balanced out. So what they did was they started by doing Zoom interviews with the organizations. The first interview they did was just an organization overview to find out just general information about, you know, what the organization does, where they're located, who they serve, and things like that. And then they had 3 more interviews, and the second, third, and fourth interviews were learning about different programs at the organizations. So specific program information, how people can get involved in those programs and things like that. The students set those up through email and they sent the organization Zoom links. What worked best was if like one student was a contact and then one organization, the organization had one contact at the organization. So it wasn't like so many people getting involved. Because we did have a few issues with getting responses via email, but for the most part, it worked pretty well. Organizations were really helpful for our students, and students really appreciated learning about the organizations. And it was pretty easy because they didn't have to go anywhere. For the most part, they could do everything from their homes. And so it was pretty easy that way on Zoom. Then once they got all the information on Zoom, we were able to go and get the 360 images with the VR camera that Carrie showed earlier. And so students and staff got to tour the organizations, and we got to take pictures to share in those VR tours. So we did get one of them approved by the organization. We wanted to check and make sure everything worked. And so this is one that is from Home Sweet Home Ministries, which works with homeless people in our community. So I'm going to share this, but it's going to automatically mute me. So I don't know if Carrie, you want to take over talking about it when I open it up.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay, so here is the front entrance of Home Sweet Home Ministries. And you see that they've given us information. So the students have all that information when they bring this up on their cell phone. So if they forget the address, what time it's open, what languages are spoken, or any of the information they need, it's all right there at their fingertips before they even arrive. This is one of the rooms where they do some programming, and it serves anyone who needs a meal. So this is one of their spaces that students can go and get food if they're hungry. The next room is the lounge. And this is where they do case management. So the information for that room is there. Here's the education center. Okay, it's a place for them to provide education support to the people in their shelter. And this is new. This is a food co-op that they started in the community. And so individuals can go there to provide, to get food when they need. There's an application, and as you see, it's embedded in there. So again, students have things at their fingertips that they can just do on their phone and be prepared when they walk into a social service agency. Okay, so we had the students do this project, and we thought, what are we going to do with this? Well, we put all the information together, and because we worked with non-native speakers, for extra credit, some of them are going to translate the information into their home languages so that they have it to share with other students, which we're really excited about, to have multilingual opportunities for our students. The drafts will be shared with the organizations. And once it's finalized, we're going to share with more students. So what we would ultimately like to do is to put all of these tours on an app and have that app available for our community members, not only our students, but we want to reach wider and have these tours available for our students. And we're going to continue adding tours as time permits, so that we really have a robust amount of tours for students when they need it. So ways that we're going to use this in our program are, first, if a student is in crisis or they need a support service, we're going to have our career navigators work with them, show them the tour, help them get comfortable with the services, and really pass them on through this virtual reality. One thing that our director of online learning told us is that Round Me is very popular, especially in our community. And we had 80,000 hits on our adult ed office virtual reality tour. 80,000 hits, man. Like, you can't get that on Facebook. So this is a really cool platform that many people are really starting to use, because like Kalai said, we couldn't travel, we couldn't go places, but this was a way to reconnect with some places and some services. Okay. what we're going to do in the future is to connect students to different college programs. So we have a new automotive vehicle repair electric battery program, and the workshop, the lab is so cool. So we're going to go in and do a tour of that and let our students experience it before they actually join those programs. So we're going to leverage it almost as a recruitment tool. We're also going to do this in workplaces. Job shadowing has been so difficult over COVID. So this will be a way for students to connect and feel what it's like to work in some of the businesses in our community. So we really want to tailor it to our students so that they feel comfortable and they get a sense of what it might be like to work for that place. We're also going to change our student orientation to make it a VR experience. Once you start using VR, there's no going back, because you think of all of these ideas and ways that you can help students feel more comfortable or understand where they're going and where they may go in the future. So it's a really, really exciting opportunity. So what we're going to do now is give you guys the opportunity to talk. So we're going to put you into breakout rooms, and we would like you to answer the question, how will you bring this back to your program? So brainstorm some ideas with your colleagues in the breakout room and discuss and come up with at least 3 ideas from your breakout room to bring back to everyone else. Okay, thank you.
For those of you trying to join a breakout room, please make sure you click the join button. If you can't find the join button, you can click on breakout room at the bottom. The presenters are asking that you participate in a breakout room. So if you are not in a breakout room, please feel free to join one. You should see a join button. What a great opportunity to network about this popular topic. For those of you maybe wondering what happened, we are in breakout rooms. So if you're able to get into a breakout room, that would be great. I know the presenters are kind of filtering through them.
Hello, this is Cornell.
Hi, Cornell.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I was having difficulty getting in. I had to log back out to log back in. And I just don't know. I don't know what the assignment is this morning. I just was sent to a breakout room with two other people who don't know the same thing. I mean, they
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Well, we're
So
going
I,
to go ahead and bring people back in and talk about that.
yeah, 'cause the two people that I was in with, they don't know what what we were doing. So
Okay.
I told them, well, I'm going to go out and see if I can contact someone and find out exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Thank you so much for letting us know, Cornell. We're going to all come back in just a few seconds, and this will really help us in the future figuring out how we do these breakout rooms in a hybrid setting. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I think everyone looks like they're back. Um, I apologize if the directions were confusing, but some people weren't sure what they were supposed to do, and so we can talk as a large group now. What I had asked is if there were any ideas that you have to bring back to your programs and how you can use the virtual reality to connect your clients or your students with these services. So did anybody have any ideas from their groups that they want to share? You can unmute yourself and go ahead and talk.
Hello, this is Omar Sanchez, and
Hi,
I work
Omar.
at work. Hi, I work at Harper College with career technical education, and something that I think we could use this for is with promoting our technical programs like manufacturing, HVAC, because right now it is difficult to find students to come into the main campus. So we've tried like virtual information sessions, but it's not as good as having them in person. So I think that a good way to entice them, want them to come in, is to have these videos, like to see, so they could see, like, for example, what the HVAC lab is like, and maybe see a welder, work and do something, and they could actually look at 360, all the machinery and all the tools that are being used. I think this could be helpful to capture their interest.
Great, thank you. One thing that when we did the first tour, it kind of set off a thing in our institution. And now my VP and president really want to do this at all departments in our institution to make it a more friendly environment for those who want to come in. So it kind of sets the ball rolling to go throughout the institution. It looks like Kina has a question.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to participate in my group, but I was having connectivity issues. But I wanted to just talk about the importance of when you're doing virtual reality. Prior to me coming over to DCEO, I was at DCFS, and they were working on a pilot program to do virtual reality for trainings, and also as a form of I won't say therapy. I can't think of the word they use, but they were trying to use that as they bring in back like investigators and certain staff into the office, because during COVID, everyone has been working in the field. And so they wanted to implement training sessions as far as, I guess, to kind of alleviate a lot of the stress of working out in the field. And because of the stress of the job and the nature of what they do. So they were implementing, this was with Chapin Hall, they were implementing a virtual reality pilot program to just use it as a training tool as well as a training therapy tool as well.
Awesome. That is really
I thought that was
cool.
really unique.
Yeah.
It's sort of different than what you all were discussing, but I just wanted to just contribute my input is from a different lens of
Yeah.
how you can use virtual reality in an aspect as a form of workplace. I won't say therapy, but just a way where people feel comfortable creating scenarios or learning about different training or different environments, personally by engaging in virtual reality itself.
Awesome. My brain is starting to swirl now with ideas. Anybody else want to share any ideas that
Yeah,
they
Carrie.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Randy.
Hi,
I'm
Randy.
I'm a veteran business person from IDS, and I question, of course, the relevancy, but then, of course, a light went off my brain, and I'm thinking, is this technology that might be shared with various, well, like for example, IDS, to maybe reach out to employers who might want to put their facility to market their facility to prospective applicants or something to that nature, so that they'd be more familiar. They could promote their product, their industry. Is that something that you kind of got in the works possibly?
Yeah, possibly. I think that would be really helpful. But one thing that you have to be really careful about, and Heather could probably speak more to this, is privacy and making sure that you don't have anyone in the videos. Heather, did you want to say anything about that?
So when we did ours, because we were working with social service organizations, we had to really make sure that there was no clients or participants in them, just to make sure everybody was, everybody's privacy was kept. If we're talking about, marketing a company or something like that, it might be a little bit different, just in terms of people might be a little bit more willing to be in them, and they're not, clients of some place. One thing that we had talked about was we had a company come and kind of talk to our students about the trucking industry. And kind of after the fact, we thought we should have done a VR with them so that students could see later on, they could explore the truck or whatever, things like that. So there's definitely some potential there in terms of, employers looking for employees could definitely collaborate with different people to, show off what they've got to offer and why they, what they're looking for, so that people can see, what they have to offer. So, but privacy could be an issue depending on, people have to agree to be in them, I guess is the idea. So we had to worry about it because we were dealing with, social service clients that we wanted to make sure we kept out of them. So it would just depend on, who's in it and, if they agree to be in it.
Well, I understand the privacy issue. Basically, what I'm asking though is, as a tool, for example, my main function is to reach out to employers in my particular area, and if that's something that I could refer them to, let's say yourself or Carrie or whomever, that it's a possibility that you could set up a virtual reality tour of your facility. They may like that idea. It could even be a product you could charge for or whatever, I guess. I mean, it could it could maybe help you financially also, and that's a good thing.
Heather and Kalaya, maybe it'll get us to Hawaii actually.
For real.
That could be a bonus trip for
Yeah.
the employee, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Anybody else have any? Mary Lou?
Yeah, kind of just a piggyback off of Randy. And I talked about it with you in our breakout, but as far as like work experience, I'm with him. I think that it would be a good tool to show them the work site. And because a lot of times you place somebody in a work site and it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be or what they wanted as far as, you know, getting the experience that they need to carry on with their career or whatever. And if they have the opportunity to see and actually see what happens in that facility, whether it be a factory, an office, whatever it is, I think they'd be more apt to actually take the job and maybe get hired on at the job, you know? And even students, like the career that they're deciding to take, whatever major they're deciding to take in school, you know, give them an opportunity to actually look and see what happens in that field. So I think it's going to be a great asset, whoever decides to do something like this.
Thank you. Anybody else have any feedback? Or we're open for questions.
Carrie, there's a couple questions in the Whova Q&A. Would you like me to field them to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. One thing, this question's from Ashanti. She says, one thing we have heard is the barrier to digital skills. Have you seen that as an obstacle people have experienced when trying to access your content?
That's a great question. The platform is so easy to use. And for example, when it's on our website, it's one click and they're in the room. There might be some obstacles with them moving around the room at the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to use and user friendly. We work really hard on digital skills with our students, so we're hoping that it's sufficient enough to help them with these, but of course we're going to teach them how to use them.
And then
that was something that came up
sorry, go ahead.
well, was you know, if they don't have the technology at home to do it, and we could always, you know, bring it up on our computer or something and show them and walk them through it as well. So that would also be an option. They wouldn't necessarily have to do it independently. It would be nice, but.
Well, and I think earlier you said something about 80,000 hits. I think that almost addresses that question a little bit, right? If you're getting 80,000 hits on some of your content, then people are accessing it.
Yeah.
Now next time we'll see double, right? The second question in the chat is, do you think virtual reality is the future of the workforce or education?
Anybody want to answer? Kalaya?
The workforce. I think it's gonna take time because we're changing the culture. It's a new era, but I can see it going through the workforce. Maybe it's gonna give people more insight of what they will gonna do, like eventually. But it's gonna take time, I think. I can see it in a future, but no like a close future.
Yeah. I think
And I know.
Oh, go ahead, Heather.
I was going to say, I know it is changing education. So for example, our nursing students here at Heartland, they're doing their clinicals through VR right now. And so there are some huge changes with how virtual reality is changing education. I know our online learning director at a previous college, she did a like a CSI investigation for students where they could you know, go to a crime scene through VR. So there's a lot of different applications in education depending on the field. So there's definitely a lot of potential there.
Yeah, we are presenting here 360 pictures they're interactive, but not that interactive. But there is another kind of applications, websites, and everything else when the people actually can like be in touch with other people and with all kind of scenarios and use remotes and everything. So I can see it as a great tool in the future.
Yeah. I think we're just scratching the surface of what this technology can do, both in both of those worlds, and it's just going to take off.
Yeah.
This is Cornell.
Hi,
I'm
Cornell.
the hi. I'm I'm the veterans representative for the LAL office, and I want to say hi to Randy and Omar, whom I know quite well. I think this is the future. I think that it's going to be that's what it is. It's going to be the way of the future. It's a good tool to use. I just have one little small concern as pertaining to what I do when I'm talking to employers. There are some that got high, strict security. So that is one thing that we can consider to look at, because I can't give a tour on say a Navistar or Microsoft or something like that unless you got to go through a lot of how should I say hoops in order for them to come in. So that's one area that I was concerned about. Same goes with the 3-letter guys, as I call them. They are another one that I work with on quite an occasion, and it's the same situation that tours and information are on a restricted area, so you have to go through certain people to get that done. So that's something to look into, but this is the way of the future. I really think that.
Thank you. Amber, did we have any more questions?
That was it.
All righty. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Thank you for joining us. And next year I will be hologrammed in for the presentation.
Fantastic.
Just kidding. Thank you. Have a great day and the rest of the conference.
Yep. And just as a conclusion, thank you for attending today's WIOA Summit session. Make sure you continue engagement and networking on the Whova app. We look forward to seeing you at our next session, and thank you presenters for such a great presentation. I think we'll all be interested to see where this goes in the future. All right,
Thank you.
bye all.
Very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And hello, Cornell. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, Omar.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you.
See you around.
Mm-hmm.